Hello, and welcome to the show called Beyond Our Galaxy. I'm your host, Alan Wegener. And on this special edition show, number 10 of Beyond Our Galaxy, we're going to be talking about the story of biblical creation. This show is then about how the universe began according to the Bible account of creation. So we're going to be talking about biblical creation. What is biblical creation? It is a story from the Bible that tells us these two things. One, how the whole universe began, and two, who made the whole universe as well. The account of biblical creation. This can be found in the first book of the Bible. The first book of the Bible being Genesis. Genesis chapter 1 through 3 is the account of biblical creation. The word Genesis actually means beginning. It says this in Genesis 1:1, in the beginning. And after that it says, in the beginning, God. It simply doesn't get any easier than this. So the first four words of the biblical creation story tells us exactly how everything got started in this universe in the first place. In the beginning. Who? God. What happened? Creation. What was created? Everything that is known to exist today. Creationists believe this, that at the time of creation, the creation of the whole world took this amount of time. It was created in a 24-hour period. Thus, this is why we have the time that we have that exists today. The whole universe was also formed in an orderly fashion according to the Genesis account. And it took 7 days to create the whole universe. Here, according to the biblical account of creation, is the orderly way of how everything came into being. Day 1. And God said, "Let there be light." The next simple act was, there was light as God spoke it into being. There was day and there was evening, which had become the first day. Day 2. Once more, biblical creationists give the next orderly phase of what happened. The biblical account says this, and God made the firmament, which is the atmosphere, and divided the waters which were under the firmament, and God called the firmament heaven, which is the atmosphere. Day 2. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering of the waters he called seas. And the evening and the morning was the second day. Day 3. Genesis 1:11 through 13 says this, and God said, "Let the earth bring forth yielding fruit after its kind, whose seed is in itself." And the evening and the morning were the third day. Day 4. We now move into more of the biblical creation story. God, the who, begins to create light in two different ways. And God made two great lights, daylight and nightlight. He made the stars also. The greater light was to rule the day. The lesser light was to rule the night. The Bible says He made the stars also. What is the Hebrew word for the star here? Well, the Hebrew word is kol kahivim. The Hebrew word means the stars in the sky. Day 4, and the evening and the morning was the 4th day. Day 5, and God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that have life. These creatures would be fowl that fly, the winged fowls, and also He created the whales. And the evening and the morning were the 5th day. Day 6. Genesis 1:24 through 29 says this. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over. So the biblical creation story tells us the why everything was made for. Man himself was to have dominion over all the things of the earth for which the Creator had made for him. Dominion. The Hebrew word for dominion is this, mashal, which means to rule, govern, or control. So, the whole purpose of biblical creation of the whole universe is this: for man to have dominion over everything the Creator had created. On day 6, when everything in the whole universe was finally completed, this is what God had concluded. And God saw everything He had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning was the 6th day. Day 7. So the next question is simple. What did God, who created everything in this big universe, do when it was completed? Well, the Bible says this. And on the 7th day, God ended His work which He had made, and rested on the 7th day from all His work which He had made. Genesis 2:2. So as we can see here in the story of biblical creation, that there is an orderly account of everything that happens. The biblical creation tells us exactly the following facts. 1. How the universe began. 2. Who created the universe. And 3. Why it was created in the first place. As one can see here, there is no second guessing. When a person studies the biblical creation account of how everything actually began, there can be no second guessing. The biblical account doesn't say things were created with a bang, or things gradually came into being. Biblical creation tells it like it is. So the biblical creation tells the truth. It tells us how everything got started. biblical creation tells us that there was a beginning, there's a middle, and how everything will have eventually an end to it. What creationists believe? Creationists believe this: each life form on earth has basically stayed the same since the beginning of creation, and that nothing has evolved from another life form. Think about this for a moment. There are literally billions and billions of stars out there. Too many stars to count. When everything was created by God, everything is placed exactly where it is today. God knows the very number of stars and galaxies that are out there. The God who is infinitely big knows the very number of hairs on the human's head. We see this in Matthew 10:30 that Jesus says this: "But your hairs of your head are all numbered." So, do you know the number of the hairs that are on your head? Or can you even begin to count all the stars in the night sky? And think about this for a moment. The psalmist writes this in Psalms 147:4. He counts all the stars and he calls them all by name. Imagine this for a moment. The whale. The humpback whale weighs some 36 tons. The humpback whale lives in the cold waters of the Antarctic. But the humpback whale knows how to migrate and take care of itself as well. It does so in an orderly fashion. Thus, creation was made in an orderly fashion as well. Well, it is time now for a brief PSA or a public service announcement from your local community television station. So, get yourself another warm cup of coffee or a glass of iced tea, and we will be right back with more of Beyond Our Galaxy.
There are many statistics in our lives, but they never matter until we become one. My only son became a statistic. Stand up and be counted to end the cycle of violence.
Log on to thepeacealliance.org to find out how you can get involved.
All right, everyone, can we get it quiet on set? I need track 3 cued and audio ready. Camera 3 on preview and ready to fade. And we're ready to roll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Music in and fade camera 3.
Welcome to the GRTV studio. In this studio, Grand Rapids Community Media Center members have the ability to bring their experiences to life. If you have a hobby, skill, or experience you want to share,
this is the perfect venue for you to showcase your talents and ideas.
Whether it's a talk show,
that's illegal. You have to keep that in mind. You really shouldn't say things like that on television. All right.
A talent show or a sitcom.
potential writers, directors, actors, or just techies. This is the perfect place for you to hone your skills. Here are the next dates for the available classes. For more information, check us out on our website at www.grcmc.org or stop in at 711 Bridge Street for a personal tour of the facility. Hope to see you there.
Fade to black and music out. All right, that's a wrap, everybody.
Hello, and welcome back to the rest of the show titled Beyond Our Galaxy. And today's special edition show titled The Story of Biblical Creation. On this part of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about science and religion. What is the difference between science and religion? Here's the definition of the two. Science is mostly concerned with the how of things work. Religion is concerned with both the who and the why things are the way they are. The time frame. Biblical creationists believe that even though the universe was made in a 24-hour, 7-day period, that the average age of the universe is only about 10,000 years old. Those who believe in evolution look at the way the universe's age is this. Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Human beings started showing up about only 100,000 years ago. But we can ask this question. In fact, the big question. If man showed up only 100,000 years ago, what is his purpose for being here? Well, the biblical answer, again at least from the biblical creation story, gives us humans the reasons for the who and why everything is the way it is. The who created everything is God. The why everything is created is so that man can have dominion over everything that was created by the who, God, who made everything in the first place. Think about this for a moment also. With all the billions of galaxies, stars, and other objects in the sky, human beings have not yet encountered any other life form, whether they can communicate with us or contact us in some way or form. As big as the Milky Way galaxy is, still there is no contact with other life forms way out there. Among the millions and millions of stars and galaxies. Think about this also. As there are no other life forms found as yet, even though our spacecraft that are flying through space are sending back signals and pictures of what they are seeing for us, there has yet been no contact directly or indirectly with any other life forms with our spacecraft. And these spacecraft Voyagers have been equipped to give other life forms all the information they need to contact us humans if they want to. But all there still is silence. Maybe then the last question we need to ask is this: are we really alone? With all the big telescopes and radio astronomy telescopes constantly pointed upwards towards the night sky, these instruments are apparently falling on deaf ears. Perhaps this is the big reason for why there's such a big universe we see in the first place. Remember, there are literally some 200 billion stars in the universe. And there are some 200 billion galaxies as well. Perhaps the reason for the big universe is for man to have dominion of it, as well as fellowship with the Creator who made all that we see that there is. Humans then have the purpose to be curious, to search the universe and find their purpose for being here. So how big is big? We know that the Milky Way galaxy is about 100,000 light years big. But how big is the whole universe? Here is the one answer to this question. The universe itself is 2.93 times 10 to the power of 22. Or in other words, mathematically speaking, it is 5 billion light years big. So the universe is unique. If this is the case as to how big the universe is, then the Creator must want. So the universe is unique. If this is the case as to how big the universe is, then the Creator must want His creation to truly be inspired by what is out there beyond our galaxy. So, here we are as humans that have two choices that we can make today. Knowing that where everything is exactly where it is today, we can believe in the fact that the Bible is the only book that tells it like it is, and begin to investigate for yourself what the truth is, or believe the other option and have no purpose in life. The Bible says in Acts 17:11 that there were a group of people called Bereans, that when they were told things from other people like the apostles or people who knew what the word said, they didn't take it for granted. This is what is said about them in Acts 17:11. Now, the Bereans were more noble character than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. So, only time will tell, as you as a human being will have the ability to investigate for yourself of how all these things got here. So the choice is ours as humans to decide today what really lies out there beyond our galaxy.